We fear loneliness, believing it comes with age. But more often, it is born when a person stops believing they can still be needed by someone. This parable is about a love that does not fade with the years, and about a warmth capable of bringing a heart back to life. If you stay with this story until the end, you will see how one simple touch can remind a person that not all is lost. The old man sat on a park bench. It was evening, and a cold wind forced him to wrap his coat tighter. He looked at his empty palms and thought about how life had passed him by. His children had grown up and become politely distant, his friends were gone, and every new day was just like the last, gray and silent. He felt like an old object forgotten in an attic. A little boy climbed onto the bench next to him. He was disheveled, with grass-stained knees. In his hands, he clutched a dirty piece of glass he'd found in the dust. The boy watched the man for a long time, then asked, "Why are you so sad? Did someone take your rock?" The old man smiled sadly. "No, little one. I just realized I have nothing left. Everything I loved is either over or has become a stranger to me." The boy frowned, studying the man. He hopped off the bench, walked right up to him, and pressed his small, warm hand against the man's large, dry hand. "My mama says people only get sad when they forget where they hid their happiness. She says it's like a button. It always falls off at the worst time, but if you look for it, it's always under the sofa." The old man shook his head. "I'm afraid my happiness isn't under the sofa. It's in the past." Then the child reached into his pocket and pulled out a crumpled, half-dried dandelion. He pressed it into the old man's palm. "Mama was crying yesterday because she was tired. I gave her this flower, and she stopped. She said that as long as there is someone you can give a flower to, everything is still okay." The boy leaned his forehead against the man's shoulder, just like that, for no reason. "You have me, and you have this flower, so you aren't empty. It means you can still give something. And if you can give, it means you're alive." The old man felt a forgotten, living warmth spread through his old coat from that tiny palm. This wasn't wisdom from books. It was simply the presence of another human being. He looked at the pathetic dandelion in his hand and suddenly remembered how, 40 years ago, he had run to his wife with field flowers in just the same way. He realized then, love hadn't evaporated. It had simply gathered dust under the weight of chores and grudges. "Thank you," the old man whispered. His voice cracked, but it wasn't from bitterness. The boy laughed, hugged him around the neck, and ran off to his mother, who was waving from a distance. The old man stood up. He no longer felt like a forgotten thing. He pulled out his phone and with trembling fingers began to dial his son's number. Not to complain, but to say, "I just wanted to tell you that I love you, and the sunset is very beautiful today." In that moment he understood, not all is lost. As long as a heart can respond to the warmth of a child, it is still capable of loving and being loved.